funny necessarily is happening today, but it certainly is interesting, and it's that. Spot gold is up nearly $40 an ounce at $13.21. That's a 3% move, despite the fact, or maybe because of it, that we have a deal. This about 2 weeks after Goldman Sachs famously came out with that basically slam dunk sell call on gold if we got a deal. What does Peter Schiff think? He is CEO of Euro Pacific Capital, and he joins us now on Talking Numbers. I take it, I'm just guessing, Peter, you would disagree with Goldman Sachs' position about gold being a, quote, slam dunk sell.
Yeah, Goldman's going to get slammed if they shorted gold, but, maybe they didn't. Maybe there was method to their madness. But at the time, when Goldman came out with that bogus call, I criticized it immediately because the crisis for gold was not that they would raise the debt ceiling, but that they would not. Because if we left the debt ceiling alone, that is bad for gold because that means fiscal responsibility in Washington. That means no more deficits. That means big cuts in government spending. None of that is bullish for gold. What is bullish for gold is raising the debt ceiling because that means we get more government, we get more debt, we get more inflation. That's bullish for gold. And since I knew that Congress and the president would make the mistake of once again raising the deficit, no strings attached, I remained bullish on gold the whole time, and I anticipated this $40 rally that we're having today. In fact, this is probably the beginning of a much bigger rally.
Well, gold, Peter, has been so hard to figure out because, listen, and I hear your arguments, and historically they make sense. I mean, you get money printing, inflation, good for gold. I mean, if you go back and you think that's what we should happen. So I get this question all the time. Why has gold been tanking for the better part of 2 years? What's wrong? What's happening to gold? Not today, obviously, but overall, because in some ways it doesn't make a lot of historical sense.
Well, because a lot of people don't understand. Look, why did dot-com stocks rally so much in 1999 or 2000? Because people were making assumptions about the future that weren't true. For the last year or so, people have been making a lot of assumptions that weren't true. They assumed the U.S. economy was strengthening, that we had a legitimate recovery. We didn't. They assumed the Fed was going to tighten, that they had an exit strategy, that they were going to taper. All of this is nonsense. And as the market wakes up to the reality that we are headed back into recession, that the Fed is not going to taper, that Janet Yellen, the first thing she's going to do as Fed chairman is increase the size of the monthly QE. And so all of that is going to be very bullish for gold. Gold is going to make new highs well above 2,000.
Wow.
And people are going to forget that this correction ever took place. And we're going to keep on going higher because we are in a major historic gold bull market.
All right, so obviously long-term bullish on gold. Nobody really talks to you about other metals, though, Peter. So I will ask you: are you also as optimistic on silver, or maybe or platinum or palladium? The thing about platinum, which has always sort of attracted me, is it's got a lot of industrial use in certain respects versus gold. Do you have any other views on metals?
I'm long silver and platinum, more so in silver. In fact, my biggest personal holding in any stock is in a pure silver play, although they actually do have some gold, but they're predominantly silver. So I am very bullish on silver. We recommend that our clients at my metals company, Euro Pacific Precious Metals, we recommend that everybody have both gold and silver. But look, I'm bullish on commodities in general. I'm bullish on agriculture. I'm bullish on oil. I am bearish on the U.S. dollar. So you have to own things that will go up when the dollar goes down. Look at the dollar today. We're near a 2-year low against the euro. The president was saying if we don't raise the debt ceiling, the dollar's going to go down. Well, we raised the debt ceiling and the dollar's getting clobbered. And again, this is just the beginning. Wait till you see the dollar going below 150, meaning that you need more than $1.50 to buy 1 euro. Right now, we're closing in on 137. But I think once the dollar hits a new record low against the euro, and it's not just the euro the dollar's going to fall against, it's all sorts of currencies.
Yeah.
That's going to put more downward pressure on the bond market. It's going to put upward pressure on consumer prices. And what is Janet Yellen going to do in response? Print more money. She's going to try to buy all the bonds that everybody else wants to sell to try to keep interest rates artificially low, to keep this phony economy recovery going. And in fact, the president is already now preparing to blame the new recession, which we're headed back into, on the sequester, on the Republican brinksmanship. I mean, now he's got this card to play to try to say that none of it is his fault. But all of this is going to be bearish for the dollar and bullish for gold. And, I hope Goldman Sachs is short. I hope they weren't smart enough to fade their own recommendation. I hope they're short and they still haven't covered because they need to lose some money on gold for a change.
It's not our fault. It's been said by every politician every day, everywhere. But I hear you. In fact, I was looking at my charts here, Peter, on the euro dollar. We should do another segment pretty soon on that because the euro's strength or the dollar's weakness is a darn interesting story as well because I've been dead wrong about the euro for about 2 years. Peter Schiff, thank you very much for joining us. Do appreciate that. And folks, just a reminder here on Talking Numbers. Hey, sure thing, Peter. But we can look at anything. We can look at currencies, gold, commodities. You heard Peter talk about agriculture, things that he can feel and touch as well, also their inflation story. So let us know at CNBC Numbers on Twitter or hit me up directly at Sully CNBC. I'm on CNBC every day at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Street.